Namaskar. Today we have with us a very passionate, generous, and talented Bharatnatyam artist, Dr. Swati Daikhonkar. Swati Tai has trained under Padma Bhushan Dr. Kanak Reddy and has been actively working in the field of Bharatnatyam since many years. Without further ado, I would like to invite Swati Tai. Namaskar Tai. I'm so glad to have this conversation with you and to know more about your work. To begin this beautiful conversation, I would like to start from the beginning. How did your dance journey begin? At what age? And how did it all start?
नमस्कार. यत्र योगेश्वर कृष्ण यत्र पार्थ धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूति ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम. So, in this rainy evening with Radhika and Sahapedia, I'm really happy to be here. And with this question, Radhika, you made me nostalgic. So, through the memory lane, it is such a great coincidence that I got the tutelage of Guru Sri Satyanarayan ji. And why coincidence? Because at that time, when I was merely 6 years of age and no television, nothing, no social media, nothing, and still, I don't know, maybe Purva Sukrutum, what we call. It is because of that, maybe, I always like to dance. I used to dance. I used to make different mudras, faces. Actually, when I was 3 or 4 years old, I used to tell my father that, see, now I'm angry. You just take my photograph. Now I feel surprised. So you take my photograph. Now I feel bhaya. You take. I didn't know that all these are rasas, neither me nor my father, but they sensed the aptitude. And maybe our Kula Devata, what we say, was coincidentally uh, Mohini avatar of Lord Vishnu. So maybe because of that, they got the hint, and my actually middle class family, my father Padmakar Kulkarni, my mother Rajini, they that time my guru used to come to teach me to my house, and that was something amazing, and I'm eternally grateful to them. Just to because of them, I got introduced to this beautiful work of art, beautiful art style, and then journey started since then, and it went on without any hindrance or without any thought process behind it in the beginning, because it just happened that I was dancer all my life, and that was not accident. It is intentionally, totally intentionally. I was a dancer, I am a dancer, and I will be. So dance, instead of saying dance, became the part and parcel of my life. Now, after 35 years of performances professionally, I can say that my life has become a small part of dance.
So beautiful, ma'am. That's such a beautiful thought to begin with. So, you mentioned that you had a personal teacher who would come and teach you at home, and you had also mentioned that you also trained under Kanak Releji. So, how
Yes.
was your training? What did your training involve? And what was the dance style which evolved over all these years?
Yes. Then actually dance is a living poetry. So I used to write poems, just Swanta Sukhaya, what we call, just my self satisfaction, and just a manifestation of different ideas. I used to write. I write, still I write, but I never I have published or anything, but I used to write. And so literature was a vital part of my learning journey, actually. So actually, I need to say this because all maybe students are listening to this. So I should say that 10th and 12th I came in the merit list, but still I chose to be the art student for languages. And I'm born and brought up in Mumbai. So totally, in Parla College, I used to learn Marathi, Hindi, Sanskrit, and English, and finally I took English literature as for my honors. And after that, I entered Nalanda Dance College, which is affiliated to University of Mumbai, and there I met TV Soundarajan Masterji, Deepak Muzumdarji as our teachers. And of course, Padma Bhushan, Dr. Kanakareleji. And later age, I became disciple of Maithili Raghavanji, who herself is a disciple of Rukmini Devi Arundel. So I was really fortunate enough because my Guruji Soundarajanji was a direct disciple of Devadasi, Gauri Ammal and all. So I got that Guru Shishya Parampara, that training I got. So I cannot say that my style comes under this and that or something, but my gurus were so kind hearted and so liberal that they allowed me to incorporate different styles of dancing. And now today, yes, within that framework is Bharatanatyam, but I enjoy the privilege of different styles of dancing. And then this is a different style which I'm performing, but yes, it is time tested because with this, I got national scholarship, national fellowship, and so many accolades. So we can say that, yes, I'm doing Bharatanatyam.
So it's great. So, ma'am, you mentioned that you were in the merit list and you loved literature, and so you had an inkling towards other subjects as well. But what made you choose dance as your profession? How did you come to that decision?
Yeah, but why I'm saying that dance was there throughout with me. I was performing, and I must say, Radhika, that 99% perspiration is true, but 1% is that some blessing or some luck or something like that. That throughout my life, I got the opportunities to perform professionally on stage and very prestigious platforms. So I used to perform all my life, and so it was not a question of that I want to become a dancer. I was dancer all the time and professional. So, but I needed to learn literature to support my dance. I learned yoga to support my dance. I learned music to support my dance. So dance was the main. Dance was a Sai Bhavam for me, the main. And then I learned. But after my graduation, then I entered Nalanda. Even I didn't wait for the result. Also, I went to Nalanda because it was such a fascinating course that I totally, that time it was 4 years, and totally we were engrossed in 6 hours of practice. You won't believe, with mridangam, violin, natwangam, flute, music, vocal, and we used to practice 6 hours a day in college with theory to support our practicals. And by God's grace, I cannot say that I worked very hard because I didn't feel that I'm working hard. It was a pleasure. 24 hours I was in dance. My days were of rehearsals, and my nights were of journals. And glad to say that because of all these things, I stood first in whole University of Mumbai for all the 4 years for all the subjects. And Sir Nageshwar Award is very prestigious, which I received as a blessing, and a national scholarship. So it was a total fullest journey of learning experiences. That time we used to sit in the library for hours together, and so many dimensions as a dancer, as a professional, as a performer. So it was such a beautiful, if I feel that if I get one more life, and if people ask me, what do you will like to be next life? So I will say the same life. What I have been living throughout, I want same to same life to, again.
Wow. Your training at Nalanda actually sounds like being in a heaven. Like, it's so
Truly.
beautiful. And also, along with your training, you also belong to a family of artists. So, how does that influence your art? How has that influenced your life and your dancing career?
Yeah, actually, my family, if you say after marriage, yes, I am married to Santoor player, Dr. Dhananjay Daithankar, and it was totally decided that I'm going to dance come what may. It was not my inclination that I need an artist to support me, the artist family or something. Nothing was that in my mind, but I was very sure that I need to dance. I'm using the word need. I need to dance. Maybe on stage, off stage, anywhere, everywhere. I just wanted to dance. I seek pleasure in doing riyaz. My everyday riyaz. Actually, my motive of dancing is my everyday riyaz, my everyday rehearsal, and to seek pleasure in that. You won't believe when I rehearse, in the solitude of my dancing hall, and I'm all alone there. And when I'm practicing my dance, different compositions, sometimes I'm choreographing, sometimes I'm practicing, sometimes I'm just doing the adavus, and many times, actually every day I'm doing the adavus. And so everything when I'm doing, you won't believe, you will, because you are a dancer yourselves. I just laugh, I cry, I shout. I just have the pleasure of dancing. It is not for money, it is not for anything else, it is not even for performances. I just dance for dancing in real true sense. And it was in me, inside me. I think from my birth only, since my birth, because I just seek pleasure in dancing. It is for nothing, nothing really in true sense. I'm real because everything is perishable. Everything we get, yes, we need to be professional. We need to be earning our livelihood through this, and that is correct. But still, above everything, that 1% remains where we dance for dance sake, and we enjoy being a dancer. And so, yes, in artist family means what happened that it was not my inclination that I want to marry the artist only and all these things. Coincidentally, actually, I used to work for television throughout before my marriage, and for radio, All India Radio, and everything. So I just happened to take the interview of his brother, who was then the chief editor of Lok Satta. So I just happened to take his interview, and somehow I met Dhananjay. And then I thought that here, yes, I can dance. Nobody will ask any question. No, am not answerable to anybody, and I will just I will get the understanding and everything, and then I will dance. And after that, then our family began with Nupur and Ninad, and by God's grace, they are following our footsteps only. Nupur is a dancer, and Ninad is a santoor player, and professionally they are doing it. And so now I can say yes, my family is the artist family now, and yes, it helped me a lot because uh, uh, to tell that our every morning starts with striking strings and tinkling bells. So every actually all four of us, everybody is doing their riyas, their rehearsals, everywhere. All we are talking on music hours together. Then when we did dance and music together, also that program, we'll come to it later. So it was an after effect of this atmosphere. in our family, So it is very nice, and we are charged with positive energies because of dance and music.
That's such a beautiful thought that every day begins with riyaz. And
Yes.
it's so important for all of us younger dancers to remember to dance just for the sake of dance and not for money or performance. Thank you so much for that thought, ma'am. Your work has a very broad range of choreographies and productions. You have Raja Sukumar, Sursham Ranga, Bhajan of Surdas, Tejo Nidhi on teachings of Swami Vivekananda, Padmini, Panchakanya based on women empowerment, Nritya Bani on songs of Namdev, Nupur Nath Santur, a dance and Santur Jugalbandi, and also your latest one, Nritya Yoga. What motivates you and inspires you to create these works of art? How do you approach these complex and rich works of literature, mythology, and music? What is your approach?
I must appreciate at this point that because you're coming up with such nice questions, very nice. I appreciate that because see, all these works of art, true to say that leaving Panchakanya, everything else was not conceptualized by me. Neither I produced it. It all came, I think, because of my sincere efforts of my performances to enhance my performance day by day. Until today, I'm doing it. In the morning, also, I practiced. And I want to just see art is larger than life. So, if we want to strive, we want to be better, our better version every day. So, and that's what I'm seeing. Hours together, Dhananjay is doing his palte with his riyaz, Saregama Padnisa Sani Dapamaga. So, I'm doing only Tai Hat Tai, so many hours together. So, so because of that, I think these concepts came as a blessings to me. Actually, from 2004, my first, I never even dreamt that HME Saregama will create a VCD of my devotional songs of dance, and it will be the first ever VCD on earth. And I never dreamt of that. I never thought, because dance teaches you karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadashana, in true sense. It is not just because to say, it is in true sense because I'm experiencing it. So it came in my way as a prasad. So since 2004 to 2020, over all the 16 years, there are total 14 productions came in my way, and they came like this to me. And I was really fortunate. I was lucky, and after seeing my one performance, one work of art, then next is coming. I neither knew these people, I never tried for that, and it came. So I can say that, and as you said, it needs a lots of research. Actually, it one project is a total research work. And one more key to success is you need two things: utter and sheer enthusiasm and very less time. All these people, they gave me 3 months, 3.5 months, and then I have to do music, audio, video, then choreography, first concept, then reading, so many things. Because of because I'm being a literature student, I'm well versed in that. But I never thought of doing Vivekananda through dance, because I told him, if I am not convinced that Swami Vivekananda and Bharatnatyam will go together, then how can I make audience convinced about it? So just give me some time. And then what I did, I chose to write a script for it in English, Marathi, Hindi. So scripting is mine, plot is mine, and then choreographies, then musical ideas also behind it. And I'm fortunate enough that Dhananjay has composed music for almost all of my works, and it needs a research, many books, hours together in library, and it was there throughout my life. But now if I'm focusing one aspect of it, then I need to read everything regarding it. It should not be, not a single person should come up and will say, oh, this is different, this is not Swamiji, this is not. See, controversies can happen, and we very less scope to these controversies. So we need to research, research, and research. So I jokingly I can say that all these 14 researches are my 14 PhDs.
Tai, through your different works, you have presented very diverse and interesting characters. Audiences all over have appreciated your portrayal of Shabri. How do you approach their characters, characterization? What is the process involved?
Um, Actually, classical art form relies on technique. So technique should be there for sure. There are two things: form and content. So, what you perform is content, and how you perform is form. So, what can be the same, how can differ according to different dancers, their training, their perception, and their presentation. So, coming to the characterization, I always feel that technique should be there, but it should not be underlined. If it is seen all the time, if it is peeping in all the time, and people think, "Oh, what a technique," then still you need to make much more progress. If you just see the character in purity, if audience is seeing the character in purity, even well-versed audience, then you have mastered the technique. So I feel, what is acting? Don't act. Be that. So you have to be that. This is like a parakaya pravesham. So see, for example, we put rangoli. So we put dots first, then lines, then we put colors in that. And finally, we see the final rangoli, right? So are the dots there? Yes. But are they seen? No. You see the final work of art. So technique should be there, but we should not keep on underlying the technique. So I'm using the technique out and out. I'm using, and I am trying to master. See, master is only one, Lord Natarajan. We are just trying to follow, trying to pursue the perfection, and life goes away in that only, because art is larger than life. So when we are portraying different types of characters, we should see the character from the very beginning. See, if we are portraying Draupadi, then we should know that Draupadi has come out of fire. She is Yagyaseni. So the total look of Draupadi will be this. They won't be this. It will be this. How dare? How are you touching me? And then she's looking at the people in the court. And then finally she feels disgusted, angry, and helpless. And then she's crying away, Lord Krishna, where are you? So this is Draupadi. She won't do like this. She won't do like this. She is fire woman. She is Draupadi. If Sita, what I'm portraying in Panchakanya, all the characters. If Sita, if you know that she has come out of earth, she has lots of patience. She feels hurt, but she doesn't react that way. So this is Sita. So if you know that she has come out of, Sita from the beginning, then you can portray in a fraction of a second. Many a times I like to perform solo on stage. In the solitude of the stage, when all musicians are sitting there, your lightman has told you that for this character, for this expression, you have to come under this light and all this thing, and thousands of audience sitting in front of you. You get the best moments of solitude on stage when you are performing solo. And for Abhinaya, I don't practice Abhinaya much, you know. I believe in spontaneity. I practice the technique. Whatever Bharat Muni has said. Bharat Muni has said in detail, 6th and 7th chapter of Natya Shastra, that how to use eyebrows, how to use eyeballs. She just so I'm using eyebrows, eyeballs, cheeks, chin, even nose I'm using. But I'm not. I try to master the technique, and then characters come on their own. This is the beauty of Indian classical dance, and at the same time, when we are performing, we are the section of our own performance. We are observing our own performance being at the corner of the stage, and we exactly know that how I am performing now. We are aware. And those moment of solitude, then what needed to be done, that we should surrender ourselves to that poet, to the work of art, to the temperament and the age and her relationships of her or his relationships of the character, and then we are about to surrender, and then we should think of that particular character being at that particular situation and the action and reactions. And since Bharatanatyam is Ekahariya dance style, without changing a dress, we are portraying different characters with our Angika Abhinay, our Nayana Abhinay, Mukhaja Abhinay, our stances, our taking the rounds, and we are covering the stage, and we are doing all these things. So we have to imagine the state of mind of that particular character in that particular situation, and then we have to implement on the stage. We have to perform. So we are not acting, we are being that. So when I found Shabari on stage, and that music piece, that she is waiting for Rama, and throughout her life she waited. Totally fraction of second, her full life journey. And when she sees Rama, she is totally in tears. She wants to touch him. She wants to, because she can't see now. She is too old, and she wants. And she says, "Oh yes, he is my Ram. He has come." And then Rama at the same time is taking her close to him. So Shabari's tears can't be seen in the eyes of Rama. When I'm doing Dushasana, Adama character, Draupadi, Uttama character, and she's angry and she's in tears because she's helpless. And Krishna, total compassion. So again, when Dushasan comes up, audience should not see Draupadi. If see this, and the main thing of performance of any character is this is the world of imagination. This is a world of make believe. The artist should be believing on the characters and on the situation and on this world of imagination so strongly that thousands of people are sitting in front of you and each and everyone will feel that you are representing him or her. You are presenting for her, for him. And so, and he should see the different characters who are not on present on the stage. So if she is the Naika and she is searching for her Lord, suddenly she's seeing him, but audience will know that he has not seen her. And suddenly he has seen her. And suddenly he is turning away and see he's going. So audience should see that character through our body language. That is the main thing. So what I'm doing, I'm not acting, I'm reacting. I'm reacting on the stage. So I think that's it. That is the essence of it. So we have to be like a mirror, crystal clear, like a mirror, our inner and outer personality. That's what I am doing in Nritya Yoga. So we should be Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, Aparigraha, Brahmacharya, Shautsa, Santosha, Ishwar Pranidhana. So all these things we should be implementing in our life. Tapa Swadhyaya. Tapa. It should be well rehearsed. Swadhyaya is well researched. Be surrendering ourselves to the Almighty. I always feel dance provides us the very beautiful opportunity to cry for Him, to laugh with Him, to be in love with Him. Otherwise, we are engrossed in so many worldly things, you know. We feel sad if our everyday's pain is we are not finding our pain. We are feeling so small, trivial things, perishable things. We have that viraham separation of those things, but exact viraham and separation from the Almighty we never ever think. So I think being a dancer, it's the best opportunity to be with Him, and that's when I started researching in my Nritya Yoga.
I am so speechless right now, ma'am, because you have explained such a complex concept and an idea in so simple language. And your example of Rangoli is something that I'm going to always remember for my entire life. And you actually created those characters in this small frame of ours. You just gave life to those characters. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing such beautiful insights with us. And that actually brings me to my next question, that you have been creating all these productions and you have very strong training. So what was the need that you felt to start your own dance academy? Because your own solo journey was there. Like even if you would not have started an academy, you would still have been a performer and a researcher. So what motivated you to start your dance academy? And what are your thoughts as a teacher? Would you like to share those with us today?
Yes. So very apt and nice questions you are asking. Yes, there are three reasons to start teaching. One is just to give the gratitude, the sense of gratitude through my work of art and through my teaching to my teachers who selflessly guided me throughout their lives. So it is the act of gratitude towards them, and being the kadi, or being uh, the connection between guru, shishya, and my shishya. So that guru shishya parampara being just a small, just I'm a vehicle, just I'm giving, I'm handling over. So that feeling is very beautiful. Second is very selfish reason, that when I'm performing many dance dramas, when I'm doing dance dramas solo, yes, I am having the solo pieces and I'm doing that. That is there because that is my pleasure. And one more thing, that I don't have to remember the things, where to stand, what to do. Then this, I just whatever I feel like doing it now, I just play on stage. No, I like that. But still, many dance dramas, we need um, our own children. I call them children, my dancers. I need them to be with me, to be and I seek pleasure in that. They're all like different, my reflections also, and they are representing different personalities also. And to see them grooming in dancers, it's such an amazing feeling, that like a mother we feel. Our child is doing such a beautiful thing, and when I'm dancing with them, maybe with Nupur or maybe my senior students, I just the amount of happiness. It's like I'm dancing with them. It's their tiny feet, and even if they are now young girls and all, I feel like they are my so small kids, and performing with them, it's such a pleasure. That is my selfish thing. And one more thing, that I am really grateful to my students as well, because uh, what now I'm speaking with you, I never read, I never write anything, or I don't make points or nothing. It's all just spontaneous, it flows. So like that, they gave me the opportunity to have this visual thinking, loud thinking. So with them, when I try to analyze different things to them, I try to tell them the different nuances of choreographies, of different characters, different compositions. I myself, I get new thoughts. So teaching makes us student, actually, in true sense. That's what I feel. So I started my academy, but I have kept it a very limited thing only, where, and I seek pleasure in teaching also. So I always feel where I can go personally, where I can show them, and I actually don't very appreciate that my students are teaching my students. My senior students are teaching, and then even tiny tots also I teach. I teach. I dance with them. And they miss me. And nowadays I'm missing them like anything. So it is my oxygen. It is my oxygen. My institute is my oxygen.
I'm thinking how lucky those students must be who are learning under you, and
So do I. I normally get very nice students only. That's what I get.
with a teacher like you, you'll get nice students, ma'am. So, ma'am, my next question is, along with being a performer and a teacher, you're also a researcher. You have a degree in English literature and have been awarded the title of Sangeetacharya, have a national fellowship, and also have a book named Nritya Yoga and many research articles under your name. What was your focus of research in all these research articles and journals and books? And how important is it for a dancer to have a background in research?
Actually, because dancer needs to be, we say, no, Javasthirattvam rekha Brahmari drishtira shrama medha shraddha vacho geetam patra pranaha dasha smrita. Nandikeshwar says in his Abhinay Darpanam. So medha is very important. He dancer with the brains is very important, because that thought process only helps you out. Because see, we have taken the training, we are we are performing, we are teaching, we are in between guru and shishya, and we are following guru shishya parampara. It all, everything is correct, but we need to have something of our own, to just our little anjali, to give to our own things to our students. So that thought process is very important. So I always tell my students that you read and read motivational things, read biographies, read autobiographies, and your perspective, your perception of life, your outlook towards life, you observe people, you observe their relationships, you observe their interactions between them, and then actually it will you will grow as a dancer. So researching is very, very important, and I strongly believe I seek pleasure. You won't believe, every day, even if I'm traveling, even at my bedside, also I have different books. Books on philosophy. I love philosophy, psychology. You know, I love autobiographies, and so read a lot. And because of my nritya yoga, actually I had the opportunity for past 20 years. I had the opportunity to learn all four vedas, 18 puranas, brahmanya, aranyaka, upanishad, gheran samhita, yoga vasishta, sangeet ratnakar, natya shastra, all these things, abhinav bharati, all these things, we have this total bhandar of all the wealth. This is our wealth, and we are having all these things. So when we speak, I can give immediate. I can give the examples. Immediate. I can speak in Sanskrit. Immediate. So many things. So many references are there. So dancer needs to be a researcher, a thinker.
Ma'am, you have been speaking about Nritya Yoga. Will it please be possible to elaborate on what is Nritya Yoga? How has been your process of creation of Nritya Yoga? And if possible, we would love to watch a small clip uh, as you speak about it.
Yes. Nritya yoga was and is actually in my very being from the very beginning, because I've been reading Jnaneshwari, Dasbodh also simultaneously when I was a schoolgirl. And thanks to my parents again, because I had that inclination of reading lots many books, and I mainly means I used to prefer the facts to the fictions. So philosophical things, psychological, and then it came in my mind that there are striking similarities between the principles of yoga and aesthetics of Bharatnatyam. Special reference to Ashtanga Yoga, Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga, and 195 sutras of Patanjali. So Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. So my main hypothesis is, unknowingly on stage we are performing yoga through dance. So if we do it knowingly, like yogic sadhana, nritya can become our nritya sadhana. Like Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, this is nritya yoga. So we can do that with perfect physical, mental, and spiritual harmony. And what is huge? Huge is to get connect. To whom we are connecting? Our soul to the absolute soul. We are connecting through dance. So this is the physical way to connect to metaphysic through nritya, also through yoga also. Yoga is also a Seshwar Shastra. So it believes on Ishvara. It believes on God, and even nritya, and so many karna concept. If you see, many striking similarities of yoga asana and karna. Then comes dharana, focusing, pranayama. Actually Sangeet Ratnakar, they have their seventh chapter of Anila Prakarana. So how pranayam helps us to portray different types of emotions and characters. So this is there. It is written there by Sharan Dev in his Sangeet Ratnakar. So I've been reading for dance. I've been reading so many things, and I've been writing also so many articles. And then how we while sculpting the things, we just unnecessary portion we just eliminate, and then comes the idol. So like that, Nritya Yoga has come to me with this name itself. So now I'm really happy that this is a patent on my name, Nritya Yoga, and everywhere we get the parallel. Then Dharana is focusing, Pratyahar is we are taking the senses inner, introvert. See, extrovert, so many things we're doing since childhood. So it takes us introvert. If we go introvert, then only we can portray the different situations on the stage. We can do the expressions, and then it leads us to dhyana meditation. It becomes a live meditation on stage. We are totally we really forget. In Marathi, Tukaram Maharaj has said that dehacha visara padi माझे. So through body, it starts. Nritya yoga starts with feeling our body, and it concludes with forgetting our body, and then just the bliss, total ecstasy, which is called Brahmananda Sahodara, and it is just alaukik ananda, the ananda or Satchit Ananda. It is above everything. It takes us towards the higher life, towards the higher personality, to become the nice human being, nice artist. So this is Nritya Yoga, and I never dreamt that I'll be performing Nritya Yoga shows and all these things uh, on one international yoga day. One organization from Mumbai, they invited me to speak and present Nritya Yoga, and it was actually international conference. And I spoke, and then I designed. Every time I get the opportunity, and then I start working. It is vice versa actually for me. And then I performed, and there a few of the organizers, they were from US, and then they invited me to their yoga institute. And you won't believe, my one tour, even was not believing that my one tour of US was totally based on Dhriti yoga. So I performed everywhere. So and nowadays actually this pandemic has helped me in a sense that this clip was of Doordarshan for International Yoga Day, and after seeing that, many inquiries came, and now I have launched my full course of Nritya Yoga, and with amazing and striking results. So I'm really happy being with Nritya Yoga.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your thought process, your journey, and what you spoke has will definitely make all of us more interested in understanding and reading more and trying, experiencing with the yoga. Thank you so much. Um, Due to the current pandemic situation, the field of dance is changing rapidly. How, in your opinion, should the younger generation of dancers approach this field of wildly changing scenario with social media, camera, and other technologies?
Yes, now this is the need of the hour, that they should master anyways. We should master the light effects technique. We should know everything. Actually, being a dancer, I always tell my students that we need to be versatile. We need to guide the musicians that you have to take this raga, or you have to take this tala. I'm experimenting on these things many a times. I just give them the script, and they are singing, and I'm improvising on the stage. So we need to master all the techniques, uh, light effects, then stage technique. See, around the globe I have performed, and with so many different platforms, stage, space. Many a times a very huge stage, many a times very compact. And then audience should not feel that, oh, the stage thoda chota ho raha hai, or it is such a big stage that. it should be come in ease, and when we are performing. So we need to master all these things. And current situation, I will definitely tell dancers that you have many more opportunities to perform, many more places, many more platforms. So take utmost use of it and perform well. But you need to be little choosy. You need because you are representing this age old classical styles of India. This is our heritage, and you should 100% you should respect that, and you should guide the organizers or people to respect the art. Okay, being the artist and being the person, it is not personal. Person is okay, but we should respect this art form, and uh, it should be presented in that way that people and nowadays you have got you're saving the time. See, traveling, going here there, and so many extrovert things actually minimize ho gaye. So then when you are performing, when you and you don't see any performances also, because I'm missing my stage. I missed my US tour. It was actually there August September. I missed many of my programs. Actually, some few programs got postponed, few programs got cancelled, so because of this situation. So I'm major missing is being on stage, being in front of the audience. So I'm missing that. Yes. So make use of this situation and practice and practice and practice more and more to enhance yourself. See, no competition, because every human being, every artist is different. His perception, his outlook towards life, outlook towards his art and presentation technique, everything is different. So God has made us unique, and so we should pursue to be more and more graceful, more and more perfect. And then I think we should do that more. And yes, wherever like Sayapedia, if you get nice um, stage to converse, nice stage to perform, yes, go ahead. And for that also, if we practice and we perform, it is good for them.
Thank you so much, Tai. This conversation has been so beautiful and so enriching. I'm always going to remember your depiction of Draupadi, Sita. Those memories, those visuals will stay with me always, and especially Shabri's character of showing how she aged as she waited has been so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your insights, for giving us time. A last question before we end. What are some of the values which you would like the younger generation to carry forward with them as we pursue our career and our path?
Yes, I will share. I will share quickly one incident. I had been invited to deliver a lecture that how I pursue dance as my career. And there were four speakers before me, and I was the last one. And that was a morning program. And after performance and outstation, throughout the night, I had a long journey, and I came to Pune, and it was very close to my place. So Bal Shikshan Mandir. So I just went there, and I was the last performer, but still I wanted to see others also how they are. So I was sitting, and I saw that everybody has got that PowerPoint presentation and all these things, and they perform. And I didn't have a single chit in my hand, and because I thought कि I am following it as a career, and so I can speak, those points were in my mind. But then I saw that everybody is very nicely they were doing. They are elaborating different points, and see, the last speaker always gets very less points. So then I said, what to speak and what, because there were so many students that they were eager to listen to me. And then I said, then what to do? Then I just got concentrated, and there the idol of Lord Nataraja kept in front of me there on the stage, and that Lord Nataraja helped me the final hour, and I found the exact points of career on the in the idol of Lord Nataraja himself, capital H. And then I delivered that lecture there. So many a times I hear that many people repeat what I said that day. It is good, without mentioning me they are repeating, but it should not happen. Why I'm telling you this, it should not happen with me, because this is originally, this is my idea, and because it was because of necessity I found it. But that is very interesting. So I will share that for Sahapedia and for the students who aspire to be a classical dancer. And then afterwards, if they want to recollect the points, they can just think of the idol of Lord Nataraja, and my points are there with them for the lifetime. So Lord Nataraja, we see that he has the locks. So locks are of ignorance, and he has the moon, half moon. It is the knowledge. So first of all, you uh, aspire for the guru, exact same nice guru. And if you believe he is nice, then total surrender towards his feet, and whatever he says, you just follow it. So this stands for your guidance, your guide, you know. Then he has got river Ganges in his locks. So Ganga River, she tells the career oriented student that your knowledge should be pure and it should be flowing. Purity is necessary, honesty is necessary, but stagnancy should not come. It should be flowing. You should learn new techniques. You can learn Tamil language if you are performing Bharatanatyam, then you learn Carnatic music. You learn, keep on learning. Then he has got three eyes for past, present, and future. So, avoiding the mistakes of past, concentrating on present, but never ever out focused yourselves to your aims and dreams. Just be focused. This eye is very important. This is future. He has got four hands. One hand is for, he is holding Damaru. So Damru tells you that day, night, you should be doing your riyas, your rehearsals. This is Agni, fire. So it says that all negativity, all the things which are harmful for you as a dancer, just burn away. This hand is very important, Abhaya Mudra, because it says that you need to have lots and lots of patience. You won't get the success overnight. You need to be very, very patient. This hand, according to me, this hand stands for being humble. Humble to your guru, humble to the elderly people, humble to the audience, humble to the Almighty, humble to the art form, humble to the knowledge. And then only, because we should understand that we are nobody. We are just a vehicle of him. And whatever वो जो कहता है वही हम बोलते जाते हैं. It is not our words. Bolota Dhani is different. So you should remember that. So this stands for that. Then um, he is crushing the child, that demon, stands for Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Matsar. Six enemies of man. So you have to sacrifice so many things. You have to sacrifice many picnics, many beautiful evenings, many good things to eat, and so many things you have to make the sacrifices. And when we take mastery over it, and when we are following all these things, then his leg is lifted and showing that you will become one with him when you follow all these things. and becoming one with him should be your motto. Wealth, name, fame, everything is going to come to you 100%. Nobody is giving guarantee. No? Nowadays, I am giving this guarantee. If you follow all these things daily, guaranteed that you will get many, many more opportunities, ample of opportunities, and you will be performing and seeking pleasure in that. I'm really, really thankful to Sahapedia, to Radhika, to the people behind this. And this is such a beautiful and pious platform. I can really, through this, I can experience the truth, truthfulness behind this platform. So I wish all luck to you and thank you very much to allow me to be little nostalgic, little happier, and little more thoughtful and thinking visually, loudly. Thank you so much.